Buy now, pay later. It's all over the place. Lurking behind those tempting add to cart buttons, BNPL is reshaping our buying habits. Forget about loan sharks in dingy malls, they've all moved to where it's sunny year round. Silicon Valley. No more walking through a musty mall that hasn't seen a renovation since 1995 to snag some quick cash from someone who looks like they're straight out of The Sopranos. Instead, you can simply shop online to get your quick fix. Buy now, pay later. Easy approval, simple to use, very minimal credit checks. And it's got Americans hooked. It's said that 4 in 10 Americans have already used one of these services. Today, I want to explore the world of buy now, pay later, its impact on economic data, and whether you, the consumer, should be concerned about what these programs fail to tell you when you sign up. Let's dive in. As you're doing your Christmas shopping, you've likely noticed that nearly every website now offers the option to buy now and pay later. By splitting your holiday haul into 4 equal payments over a span of 2 months with no interest, offered by third-party providers like Klarna, Affirm, or Afterpay. You may have thought to yourself, this is a great idea, especially during the expensive holiday season, and you're not alone in this thinking. Over 88 million Americans have turned to BNPL services for precisely this reason. This shopping trend shows no sign of slowing down. In 2023, people have already spent a staggering $300 billion on goods using BNPL, with the segment growing at 55% per year. Now you're asking yourself, how can a business make money by letting me split up my purchase into 4 no interest payments? Well, have you heard the saying, if you don't pay for the product, you are the product? Well, that's exactly what's going on here. For you, the consumer, there's no extra cost, provided you meet the deadlines for the next 3 installments. But if you slip up, there's usually a modest fee that can be around $30, and then there's the interest, which in some cases can get as high as 37%. So, like credit card companies, BNPL is free and great if you pay your bills on time. But if you slip up, it can get pretty onerous pretty fast. So let's take a second to peel back the curtain on the business model for BNPL providers like Affirm, Klarna, and Afterpay. How do these companies make money? Who bears the risk, and who might be on the losing end? Well, firstly, these BNPL providers make a significant portion of their revenue from merchant fees. When a consumer opts to use a BNPL service, the retailer pays a fee to the BNPL provider. This fee typically ranges from 2 to 8% on the purchase price, which is significantly higher than what credit card transaction fees typically generate, which is in the range of 1 to 3%. The rationale for BNPL to get these higher fees is that the options can boost sales volume and order values for the retailer, making the higher fees worthwhile. It's a win-win for now, at least, with retailers selling more product and BNPL providers getting their cut. But what about the risks? The BNPL providers assume a substantial amount of risk. They pay the retailers upfront for the purchased goods and then rely on the consumer to repay the installment. This arrangement exposes them to credit risk, the danger that the consumer will default on their payments. To mitigate this, BNPL companies often employ sophisticated algorithms to assess a customer's creditworthiness rapidly. However, these assessments aren't foolproof, and the risk of default remains a significant part of their business model. Also concerning, unlike credit card companies, the BNPL providers don't typically communicate with each other. So credit could be building with various providers on one risky individual name. Now let's talk about consumers for a second. They, on the other hand, might find themselves in a tricky situation if they fail to meet repayment schedules. While initial offerings come with no interest, missed payments can lead to late fees and, in many cases, interest charges, which can accumulate quickly. Moreover, frequent use of BNPL services without careful financial planning can lead to an overextension and debt accumulation, especially for those enticed by the ease of multiple staggered payments. The typical user of buy now, pay later programs often reflects a segment of the population that's navigating financial constraints. While these services are popular across various demographics, they're particularly appealing to those who might be struggling to make ends meet. A study from the Philadelphia Federal Reserve shows that 72% of BNPL users generate under $75,000 per year. A notable trend is the use of BNPL services by younger consumers, such as millennials and Gen Z, who are more digitally critically inclined and often cautious of traditional credit. These users, potentially still building their credit history, find BNPL's ease of use and immediate approval appealing. However, the demographic spread extends beyond just the younger generation. Statistics indicate that BNPL users frequently turn to these services to manage cash flow or finance purchases that are not immediately affordable. For example, during the holiday season, many consumers use BNPL to spread out the expense of gift buying. This trend is particularly pronounced among those with limited disposable income or those facing financial hardships where the allure of manageable installments is strong. However, this convenience can be a double-edged sword. While BNPL offers a lifeline for necessary purchases, it also poses a risk of financial overreach. The ease of accruing multiple BNPL debts, often without stringent credit checks, can lead to a cumulative financial burden. This scenario is a particular concern for those who are already struggling, as missed payments can escalate into significant fees or interest, further straining their finances. Now, let's get into some of the unfortunate truths here. Let's take smaller BNPL players like Afterpay. If you're late, they're going to slap you with an $8 late fee, cleverly marketed as a minimal fee. Those $150 shoes you snagged, if you end up paying late on all 3 installments, you're looking at $24 in fees, which is essentially 16% interest. It's increasingly common for folks to fall behind on payment schedules, with reports ranging from 34 to 42% of BNPL users missing payments, adding up to millions of dollars in profits for all of these different BNPL providers. To be fair, Afterpay is somewhat cheaper than most credit card companies, but it certainly isn't interest-free. And more importantly, these BNPL providers, if you ask me, have put a huge mask over the current state of the economy. In 2023, BNPL programs significantly impacted the Christmas shopping season. Americans spent a record of $9.8 billion online during Black Friday, marking a 7.5% increase over the previous year. If you've been following the economic trends, you know we're already in a state of both high interest rates and inflation, which means consumers are increasingly likely to turn to BNPL as an alternative to traditional credit solutions, especially for big ticket items like electronics and smartwatches. They're being told it's interest-free, so why not, right? But from an economic data standpoint, we have to acknowledge that this is a new form of credit, and that pocket is only going to get so big. What happens in 2 years when consumers have maxed out this pocket? Well, we now have a segment of consumers who are more indebted and have an inability to kick the can down the road any further, unless some new credit scheme comes along and is invented, which you never know. But if you ask me, and no one did, BNPL is just hiding how bad things are in the economy, and this is going to only add to our problems down the road. All right, everybody, thank you for watching. If you could do me a big favor, please hit that like button, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. Let me know what you think in the comment section. So guys, we just recently launched this channel and we noticed that 99.9% of our viewers are not subscribed. So if you enjoyed this video, we need your help in growing this channel. By subscribing, that would help us keep the lights on and make sure that our crews have jobs in these uncertain times. So please hit that subscribe button, and we promise to make more quality videos that I'm sure you're going to love.